1.
How often do you...
6.2. 1,
Last weekend, I went to the beach.
2,
Last weekend, I played tennis with friends.
3,
Last weekend, I watched TV.
4,
Last weekend, I bought a t-shirt.
5,
Last weekend, I ate a pizza.
6,
Last weekend, I took the train.
7,
Last weekend, I did my homework.
6.3.
On Saturday, I got up at 10 o'clock. Then I had breakfast on the sofa. I had a croissant and a glass of milk. Then I went shopping with my family. In the evening, we went to a restaurant for dinner. I had some pasta. I went to bed at about 10 o'clock. On Sunday, I got up at 9 o'clock and went to visit my grandparents. In the afternoon, I went swimming. After that, I did my homework. I went to bed at about 9:30.
6.4.
Tell me about last weekend. Where did you go and what did you do?
6.5.
What did you like the most?
6.6.
What didn't you like?
6.7.
Tell me about your best holiday. Where did you go and what did you do?
6.8.
Tell me about your worst holiday. Where did you go and what did you do?
6.9.
Hello, let's talk about weekends and seasonal activities. What do you usually do at the weekend? What do you like doing at weekends and what don't you like? What's the best night of the weekend?
What about you? What's the best night of the weekend for you?
Oh, for me, it's Saturday night. I like going to restaurants every Saturday. For you, what's the difference between weekends in the summer and weekends in the winter? Tell me about last weekend, where you went and what you did. What are you going to do next weekend? Thank you. Now we're going to talk about something different. Let's talk about holidays. How often do you go on holiday? What type of holidays do you like? The beach, mountains, visiting a city?
What about you? What kind of holiday do you like?
Oh, I like beach holidays and relaxing in the sun. How often do you go to the beach? Tell me about your last holiday. Where did you go and what did you do? Tell me about the best and worst days of your last holiday. And what about your next holiday? Where are you going to go and what are you going to do?
7.1. 1,
Potatoes.
2,
rice,
3,
pasta,
4,
fruit,
5,
vegetables,
6,
ice cream,
7,
curry,
8,
sushi,
9,
burger,
10,
pizza,
11,
chips,
12,
steak,
13,
soup,
14,
croissant,
15,
biscuits,
16,
crisps,
7.2.
How often do you drink water?
Oh, I drink water several times a day.
And what about breakfast? How often do you have that?
I always have breakfast every day.
And do you have pasta every day?
No, I only have pasta twice a week.
You don't eat in a restaurant every day, do you?
No, I only eat in a restaurant every 2 weeks.
What about fast food? How often do you eat burgers or pizza?
Oh, I only eat fast food about once a month.
7.3.
So, which restaurant are we going to go to tonight?
Well, there's an Italian restaurant, a Chinese, a Spanish, a barbecue restaurant, or we can go to the fast food restaurant.
I don't like fast food, and I hate burgers and chips.
OK, so we're not going to go to the fast food place.
What about the barbecue restaurant?
Well, I'm vegetarian and I hate meat. So a barbecue restaurant with only meat is not going to be good for me.
OK, so we're not going to try the barbecue restaurant.
No. What about the Spanish restaurant?
Well, I like Spanish food, but I ate in a Spanish restaurant yesterday. I don't want to eat in a Spanish restaurant twice in a week.
OK, so we're not going to have Spanish food.
So then we have the Italian or the Chinese restaurants.
Oh, I love both. I like Italian food. I like pizza. I like pasta. But I also love Chinese food. I like the Chinese sauces. Oh, and I love fried rice.
I also like Italian, but I usually go to an Italian restaurant twice a month. I occasionally eat Chinese food.
You go to an Italian restaurant more often than a Chinese restaurant?
Yes.
OK, then we can try something different. How about the Chinese? I can tell you which Chinese dishes I love, and you can try them.
So we're going to the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, not the Italian.
7.4.
Hello, let's talk about food. Tell me about the foods that you like and the foods that you don't like. And how often do you eat your favourite food? Do you ever eat it in a restaurant? Who does the cooking in your house? What's the difference between eating at home and eating in a restaurant? For you, what's the best food in the summer and the best food in the winter? Tell me about yesterday. What did you have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And what are you going to have for lunch and dinner today?
What about you? What's your favorite food?
Oh, I like all international food, but I love Japanese food. Thank you. Now we're going to talk about something different. Let's talk about shopping. How often do you go shopping? Tell me about the best and worst shops in your town. Which do you like and which don't you like?
What about you? What kind of shops do you like?
I like clothes shops and bookshops. How often do you go shopping with your parents? And how often do you go shopping with your friends? What's the difference? Tell me about your last shopping trip. Where did you go and what did you buy? What was the most expensive thing you bought? And what about your next shopping trip? Where are you going to go and what are you going to buy?
Point 1.
On Monday at 8 o'clock, I have geography, and then at 10 o'clock, I have maths. On Tuesday at 12 o'clock, I have history. And then on Wednesday at 8 o'clock, I have information technology, followed at 9 o'clock by English. At 2 o'clock, I have physical education. On Thursday, at 9 o'clock, I have physical education, and at 12 o'clock on Thursday, I have English. And on Friday, at 8 o'clock, I have English, and at 12 o'clock, I have science.
Point 2.
What did you do in your last English lesson?
In my last English lesson, I studied the past tenses.
What was your last English homework?
For my last English homework, I wrote a story.
What are you going to do for your next English homework?
For my next English homework, I'm going to practice my vocabulary.
When are you going to do your English homework?
I'm going to do my English homework after dinner this evening.
Where are you going to do your English homework?
I'm going to do my homework in my bedroom.
What are you going to do after your homework?
After my homework, I'm going to watch TV.
Who's the best at English in your class?
The best person at English in my class is my friend Lucia.
What's your favorite subject?
My favorite subject's maths.
Is Lucia better at maths than you?
No, I'm better at maths than Lucia.
What's the most difficult subject at school?
The most difficult subject at school is science.
Point 3.
Well, I love playing football and play it every day. I'm very good at it. I also sometimes play basketball. I like it, but I'm not very good at it. I like playing the piano, and I practice 3 times a week. I love listening to music, and I especially love rock music, but I hate dance music. I love playing video games, and I play them every day. I'm not very good at playing guitar, but I'm going to learn how to play it.
Point 4.
Well, on Monday, I listened to some music on my MP3 player, and then I played football in the park with my friends. On Tuesday, I practiced the piano, and then I played basketball. On Wednesday, I made pizza with my mum, and then played video games. On Thursday, I read my book and then went cycling with my friend. On Friday, I practiced the guitar and then I spoke to my friend on the internet. I used my webcam. On Saturday, I went shopping with my dad and then I went swimming. And on Sunday, I did some drawing and then I watched TV with my family.
8.5.
Hello. Let's talk about school. Tell me about the subjects that you like and the subjects that you don't like. How often do you study your favourite subject? And how often do you study the subject you don't like? And what's the difference between the subject that you like most and the subject that you like least?
What about you? What's your favourite subject?
Oh, I love studying English and foreign languages. Tell me about last week. What did you study and what was the best class? What about homework? Are you good at doing homework? And what are you going to study next year? Are you going to start any new subjects? Thank you. Now we're going to talk about something different. Let's talk about hobbies and sports. What hobbies or sports do you like and which ones don't you like?
What about you? What hobbies or sports do you like?
I like music and reading. How often do you do your hobbies or practice your sports? What sports and hobbies do you do in winter and in summer? What's the difference? Tell me about your funniest hobby and your most physical sport. What hobbies and sports did you do last week? And what hobbies and sports are you going to do in future?
9.1.
What's the topic?
The topic is a presentation and discussion between you and the examiner.
Who chooses the topic?
You! It's completely your choice.
What can I talk about?
You choose. It's easier to talk about things that you are interested in.
Can you give me some example ideas?
For example, objects, people, places, activities, organizations, etc.
How long is the topic?
It's the first 5 minutes of the exam.
Can I just prepare a script and read it?
No, the topic is a discussion. You cannot bring a script with you.
Can I memorize a script and recite it?
No, the topic is a discussion. If you recite, the examiner is going to interrupt you and ask more questions.
What is the aim of the topic?
The examiner wants you to have a conversation using the language of grade 4 in your conversation.
Is the examiner looking for mistakes?
No, the examiner is looking for examples of grade 4 language.
What questions is the examiner going to ask?
The examiner is going to ask you questions which help you to use grade 4 language.
Can I bring photos or objects with me into the exam?
Yes, you can bring photos and objects connected to your topic, but don't bring too many. You only have 4 to 5 minutes, so 4 objects or photos is the maximum.
1.1.
So, what is the grade 4 exam? Well, it's a 10-minute discussion between the examiner and the student. Only the examiner and the student are in the exam room. There are no teachers and no other students. The exam has 2 parts. The first part is the topic and is up to 5 minutes long. In the topic, you can choose what you want to talk about. The second part of the exam is the conversation. The conversation is up to 5 minutes long. In the conversation, the examiner is going to choose what to talk about. In the conversation, there are 6 possible subject areas: holidays, shopping, food, school, hobbies and sports, weekend and seasonal activities. In the conversation, the examiner chooses 2 of the conversation subjects to discuss.
2.2.
What can you bring into the exam? Well, there are 2 documents: the report form and the topic form. You always bring the report form and the topic form into the exam room. Another question is, can you bring photographs? Yes, you can bring photographs. It's your choice. About 4 photographs is a good idea. You can decide. But never bring a big book of photographs. You do not have enough time to talk about more than 4 photographs. What about objects? Can you bring objects into the exam room? Yes, you can bring small objects into the exam. It's your choice. You can choose to bring, for example, a medal, a photo, an electronic gadget, a sports shirt. You decide. What about pets? Can you bring pets or animals into the exam room? No, you can never bring animals into the exam. Now, computers and laptops. What about them? We recommend you never bring computers into the exam room because computers often have problems. And if you have a problem with your computer, you do not get more time in the exam. So, we suggest you never bring a computer. And finally, can you bring a script into the exam room? No, never. You can never bring a written piece of paper into the exam room. Remember, the exam is a discussion, not a recitation.
10.3.
Hello, what's your name? My name's John. Pleased to meet you. How are you? I'm very well, thanks. And we're doing grade 4? Good. Now we're going to start with your topic. What are we going to talk about? Your English class. OK, so first tell me about what you like and don't like about your English class. And do you like speaking English? How often do you study English? Do you have classes every day? And do you always study grammar? What's your favourite activity in your English class? OK, thanks. Now let's talk about your first English classes with your teacher. Tell me about that. What did you learn first in English? What did you like about English classes? What was the most difficult part of English to learn? What's the difference between your English then and your English now? Thank you. Now, do you have plans to learn English in the future? In future, are you going to study more grammar or practice more speaking? Are you going to visit an English-speaking country? Are you going to watch English films or listen to English music? Thank you. And finally, what are the differences between your English class and your other classes? Which is the most difficult? Which is the funniest? Do you study English more often than the other subjects? Which class has the best activities? Thank you very much.
1.4.
Hello, what's your name? My name's John. Pleased to meet you. How are you? I'm very well, thanks. And we're doing grade 4? Good. Now we're going to start with your topic. What are we going to talk about? Your English class. OK, so first tell me about what you like and don't like about your English class. And do you like speaking English? How often do you study English? Do you have classes every day? And do you always study grammar? What's your favourite activity in your English class? OK, thanks. Now let's talk about your first English classes with your teacher. Tell me about that. What did you learn first in English? What did you like about English classes? What was the most difficult part of English to learn? What's the difference between your English then and your English now? Thank you. Now, do you have plans to learn English in the future? In future, Are you going to study more grammar or practice more singing? Are you going to visit an English-speaking country? Are you going to watch English films or listen to English music? Thank you. And finally, what are the differences between your English class and your other classes? Which is the most difficult? Which is the funniest? Do you study English more often than the other subjects? Which class has the best activities? Thank you very much.
1.5. 1,
Tell me about your last holiday, where you went, and what you did.
2,
What was the best moment on your last holiday?
3,
What didn't you like?
4,
Tell me some differences between your hometown and where you went on holiday.
5,
How often do you go on holiday?
6,
Who do you usually go on holiday with?
7,
Which activities do you like doing with your family and friends on holiday?
8,
What object do you always take with you on holidays?
9,
What's the difference between summer holidays and winter holidays?
10,
Tell me about your next holiday. Going to go, and what are you going to do?
1.6. 1,
What types of shops are there near your house?
2,
For you, is shopping a hobby?
3,
How often do you go shopping?
4,
Who do you usually go shopping with?
5,
What's the difference between shopping with your family and shopping with your friends?
6,
What are the most expensive shops in your town?
7,
Tell me about the best shops. What do you like?
8,
What kind of shops don't you like?
9,
Tell me about your last shopping trip. Where did you go and what did you do? What did you buy?
10,
Tell me about your next shop. Where are you going to go and what are you going to buy?
1.7. 1,
What food do you like? What food don't you like? Is there any food that you hate?
2,
Who usually does the cooking in your house? Who's the best cook?
3,
How often do you go to fast food restaurants?
4,
How often do you eat international food?
5,
Tell me about your favourite restaurant. What do you usually eat there?
6,
What's the difference between the food in your house and the food in your favourite restaurant?
7.
What do you usually eat on your birthday?
8.
What's the best food in summer and the best food in winter?
9.
What did you eat yesterday?
10.
What are you going to eat today?
1.8. 1.
What do you usually do at weekends in the winter?
2.
What do you like doing at weekends in the summer?
3.
What's your favourite day of the weekend? What do you do?
4.
What don't you like doing at weekends?
5.
What's the difference between a weekend with your parents and a weekend with your friends?
6.
How often do you go travelling at the weekend?
7.
Tell me about last summer. Where did you go and what did you do?
8.
What are you going to do this summer? Where are you going to go?
9.
Tell me about last weekend. Where did you go? What did you do?
10.
What are you going to do next weekend?
10.9. 1.
Do you like school?
2.
What are your best and worst subjects at school?
3.
What's the most difficult subject?
4.
What do you usually do at school break time?
5.
How often do you do your homework?
6.
What's the difference between studying at school and studying at home?
7.
What subjects did you study last year?
8.
When did you have your first English lesson?
9.
What are you going to do after this exam?
10.
What are you going to study in the future?
10.10. 1.
Which sports do you like and which sports don't you like?
2.
How often do you play sport?
3.
Is it better to play a sport or watch it?
4.
What's the most difficult sport to play?
5.
What's the difference between playing sport in the summer and sport in the winter?
6.
What about your hobbies? What are your hobbies in summer and in winter?
7.
What's your most expensive hobby?
8.
What about last weekend? What hobbies or sports did you do?
9.
What hobbies are you going to do next weekend?
10.
What hobby or sport are you going to start in the future?